Welcome to part 3 of the Body Wellness series. And in today's talk, I'm going to talk about the word guilt. And the guilt we feel when we don't eat the right food. And the guilt we feel when we indulge or cheat with regards to food. And I'm going to share a personal story that will hopefully inspire you that is watching this video. But I write a book called When the Fairy Tale Shatters, and in this book, I talk a lot about body wellness and self love and self care and honoring the person that you are. And one of the stories that I tell in the book is how, as a young girl, I was very actively raised by my mother and my grandmother, my maternal grandmother, who I was very fond of and close to, and my mother's sisters, my aunties. And ever since I can remember, they were always on a diet, on a very, very strict diet. And I remember my mother would cook these wonderful meals for us, but for her, she would cook separate food. And growing up, they used to write the scales between being different sizes in their dresses. And I remember the struggle it used to be for all of them to keep the weight off or to be thin. And unfortunately, we inherit the sins of our fathers and mothers, and we inherit the traits because it is programmed into us from a young age. And if we grow up without awareness and we do not take responsibility for our life, we just carry on with those patterns. And in my 20s, I was incredibly harsh on my body, incredibly harsh. I was always on a diet. I used to have a personal trainer. I went to severe um, cases where I would actually have plastic surgery done on my body to look a certain way. On the magazines, the movie stars, society really hurts a woman's feelings with regards to the specific way that we should look in order to feel that we are good enough when it comes to our body shape and the way we look. And in my 20s, I was very, very harsh on my body. And then at the age of 31, I fell pregnant with my son Marcus. And from 10 days of pregnancy, I was sick. I was nauseous. I have never in my life experienced such nausea. If someone tells me today that pregnancy is not an illness, I'm going to punch them in the face. Because for me, pregnancy was the worst illness that I have ever experienced in my life. The vomiting, the nausea of 24 hours, how sick I felt, the emotions, it was so overwhelming that it felt like an alien had taken over my body. Luckily, very early on in my pregnancy, I got a midwife and I was surrounded by a very good gynecologist and birth support team. And my midwife very early on said to me, Aldi, you are not eating for two, and you need to eat high vibrational food, and you need to start listening to your body because you are now going to determine the health of this baby by eating high quality food. And because I wanted to become a mother so much and I was so thankful to be pregnant, my son was the catalyst and the motivation for me to change the way that I saw food and to choose what I put in my mouth. So my midwife actually put me on a diet when I felt pregnant, if we want to call it a diet, instead of most pregnant women saying, I'm eating for two and I'm going to have a fantastic time. So she actually taught me the concept of what are you putting in your mouth, feel how it makes you feel, and listen to your body and honor your body in this process, and your baby will benefit from it. I struggled through 41 weeks of pregnancy, with a lot of challenges. And at 41 weeks, I gave birth to my son, the natural one. And I remember when I birthed him, I was squatting. I was straight up when I birthed him. And as he was born, they immediately took him and they placed him in my arms. And as I held this perfect human with 10 fingers and 10 toes in my arms, this awareness came over me. And I heard this voice in my head saying, look at what your body has built for you. You didn't give instructions. You didn't say, build the ear this week, build the nose next week, build the stomach the week after, now form the lungs. It all miraculously just happens that a little baby is formed inside of a woman's body. And as I held my son, I immediately apologized to my body. I said to her, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for all the criticism. I'm so sorry for all the punishment, physical punishment, punishment through food, punishment through exercise, punishment through surgery, punishment through self-talk. I am so sorry for what I have put you through. I will never ever do this to you again because you have given me the greatest gift in my life, which is a perfectly healthy baby with 10 fingers and 10 toes. And from that moment, when I made that decision, my body has never ever put on weight again. Never. When I go through stress and I go through stressful periods of change in my life, I struggle to eat. So my body tends to lose weight, and then I would go more to the frail side, so then I would become aware of it. And then when I do feel the inclination to eat, I would then really boost my body with high vibrational, nourishing foods that is good for it. But I would just be in awareness and not go into judgment for the fact that I'm now feeling nauseous because of stress and I can't eat. I have learned to become in awareness of who I am and how my body functions, and not reject her, but connect to her every day. So when I work very long hours or I work very hard, I will say, we will now go for a massage, we will now go for hands and feet, we will go have our bars run, we will go and have a drip, we will go for a healing session, we will go and blow dry our hair, we will have a good meal, because that is how we connect to the body through self-care, which I will discuss in the next segment. The main thing is the guilt that we feel when we eat immediately locks into the pancreas. It creates more cortisol and it tells the thyroid to stop working. Criticizes and criticism and guilt disconnects us from our body, and the minute we feel those emotions, the body in disconnecting will stop functioning at her optimum level. So yes, this is not a video to say eat what you want, drink what you want, do what you want. It's a video to make you aware that your perspective and your perception and your attitude that you use to look at things in life has an effect on your physical body. So if the day comes where you do decide to have a piece of cheesecake, or you decide to have a Coca-Cola, or you decide to have a lamb chop with a nice piece of fat, or you decide to have a pizza, enjoy it. The guilt is going to disconnect you and your body from the pleasure of that meal, and it is going to disconnect your body from metabolizing that meal. You know, we have, and I'm going to say it in Afrikaans, we have these sayings in Afrikaans. 'n oomblik op die lippe, vir ewig op die heupe. Ek kyk net vir kos, dan tel ek gewig op. All of those beliefs that are stored here in our subconscious, is what is causing us to not have a healthy, strong, lean, energetic body with ease, joy, and glory. It's not about the diet. It's not about the food. It's not about what I do with regards to exercise. It's not about how many weight loss strips I can get or how many synergy sessions I need to do or how I need to run my bars. It's about this. It's about my perception and about my perspective. So I invite you to release the guilt with regards to food. And if you enjoy something that you perceive as a cheating meal or overindulgent meal, have the awareness to release from that and to connect back to your awareness and to how you perceive that situation.